And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. Here are the Commanders for their first drive of the game. Leading them out, their young quarterback, the rookie from LSU.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle, everyone's going to want to touch the football. Be a lot of chatter right now because they've seen that they can move the line of scrimmage.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. They'll run again here with Robinson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
They give him 16 yards there, and it's a Washington first down.
That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
This one caught by Osborne, right side.
And he's taken down inside the 30. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
So after several rushes to start the game, Charles, they go to the air there and get a nice completion.
Nice mix-up on the play calling, right? Establish the running game, make the defense think you're going to do it again, and then hit them over the top. Now you've got them betwixt and between. They don't know which way you're going to come at them.
Play action, now it's Daniels. Looking for the crossing receiver, and he's got him. It's Samuel.
And down inside the 15 he goes. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Pretty solid opening drive here, Charles. They've worked in the run game, the pass game, just steadily getting yards, and now they've got it inside the red zone here with an opportunity.
And the only thing they don't have so far is points. But the way that they're moving the ball now, that shouldn't take much longer. And they've established a great balance so far. Running, passing, doing what they want on offense.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
What a luxury to have a guy like this who can not only spell your starter, but can come in and keep drives going.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Robinson on a give right side.
And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown.
Brian Robinson Jr.
A 13-yard touchdown run.
And the Commanders get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, first quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Zane Gonzalez on for the extra point.
And the kick is good, and the Commanders out to a 7-0 lead.
So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays.
And it was capped off by the touchdown run for Brian Robinson. Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
So here come the Texans now for their first drive. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
Every time he leads his team out, there's no questioning. He's put the work in to earn his place in the NFL. There's no shortage of stories we've heard throughout his career about the effort he puts in to be in this spot. And that motivates everybody on his team.
Stroud to throw it. That's complete to Dell. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Well, they obviously red man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that?
He made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
Now Stroud. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
Okay, let's decide here. He was open, right? Not extraordinarily open, but open enough that if you're an NFL quarterback, you've got to make that throw, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be complete.
9 times out of 10, that's a completed pass.
Yeah, he missed that one and missed it in a big way.
A shotgun snap to Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
The Commanders bringing out the nickel package on 3rd down. And Stroud now to throw. This goes out wide for Mixon. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now a pause for the injury, and that is as Joe Mixon clearly in some discomfort following that last play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Two first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Stroud. And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack, but that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
Stroud looking to throw. That's complete to Pierce. Finding room at midfield. And gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Stroud. Delivers another one to Pierce. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. That's going to bring up 4th down. Only a gain of 2 there.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
The Texans send the punter out, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
To the air goes Daniels. And his throw is incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Daniels. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
We'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere.
Daniels from the gun on third down. He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. Third and long. Back to throw. Daniels. Able to find the open man. That's complete. Now inside the 25. Deebo Samuel. Touchdown, Washington. Deebo Samuel, 91 yards.
And the Commanders have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Gonzalez to add the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive.
And it's Deebo Samuel who caps things with a touchdown reception.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud.
And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
As they've got it as we resume action. On the ground, this is Joe Mixon.
And he'll fight for a couple as the tackle is made at about the 32.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10.
At the 44-yard line. Operating from the gun. Stroud.
That's caught again by Schultz.
And he's going to get this inside the 30.
Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
Mixon with a first down carry.
Down at the 25.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about where they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Stroud out of the gun here. To the right side and caught by Dell.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting them in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Now Stroud going to bat it forward on the touch pass.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
This is caught. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Dalton Schultz from 6 yards away.
And the Texans have got it back to within a score.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all.
And it was the tight end Dalton Schultz on the touchdown reception to cap the drive.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Commanders' offense and Deebo Samuel headed back onto the field. And seemingly every time they've looked his way in this first half, it has resulted in a big play, as borne out by the numbers. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. So for this offense, Charles, remember, drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute, but did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it, and afterwards they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
To throw is Daniels.
That's Samuel, caught left side. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down.
They go play action. Daniels.
He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 37. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7.
Now 2nd and 9. Now Daniels.
And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the first down marker. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
Daniels looking to throw.
That is caught. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 19. 12 yards on 3rd down as the drive rolls on.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the first down.
Here's Daniels. Toward the sideline, intercepted.
Picked off by the former first-rounder Jimmy Ward. And it's a huge return as he brings this all the way back down to the 15-yard line.
Definitely not the ideal time to see that mistake, partner, because this is still a one-possession game, and that's at least a field goal that just vanished with that turnover. Now, pressure's on defensively to prevent that pick from turning into points for the other side.
The Texans with the football here late in this first half. And now following that turnover, they've got an opportunity here to try to cash in with good field position before intermission. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
On the delay, it's Mixon. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Second down from the 8. They can get a first down by reaching the 5. Throwing now is Stroud.
Touchdown, Texans! Christian Kirk from 8 yards out.
And the Texans are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the first half.
I feel like I'm back in school. What was that book, you know? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. This has been a tale of 2 quarters so far. They trailed 14-0 after 1. How about the rally we've been watching?
Yeah, a couple of touchdowns. PAT here to tie it up. This is a good ball game all of a sudden. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. Now we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away.
And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Washington going to go on offense one last time in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A good starting spot for Washington as they come up 1st and 10
at their 36-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Zach Ertz has it complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Looking to throw. Daniels. This will be caught. It's Samuel.
And he'll score. Touchdown, Commanders.
Deebo Samuel in the final seconds of the first half.
And the Commanders have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half.
Solid response that time by a young quarterback. Last drive interception. This drive the touchdown pass.
I like how you described it solid because you don't get extra kudos for bouncing back if you're going to be a big-time quarterback. You're supposed to do that. But at the same time, when you're a rookie, that's not guaranteed, is it? Sometimes they hang their heads and they go in the tank a little bit. Not in this case. Bounced back, took his team downfield, and threw a touchdown pass.
So they only needed 3 plays on that drive.
And it's Deebo Samuel who caps things with a touchdown reception. Four seconds, all that remain here this first half as the kick gets away. This taken in at the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
It was a solid first half of football for the Alabama man, Brian Robinson. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break. Both of these offenses had their share of high points in that first half. Each team had some big moments, and it would seem this could turn out to be a game where the last score wins.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3.
The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Texans going to take over here to start quarter number 3. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
I tell you what, when you're down on the scoreboard, you've got to look to your stars, and that's what they do here to start the drive. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked his way a few more times in short order. That one, well designed, and it's a quick first down.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
And Stroud now to throw.
He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
2nd and 10. Now Stroud. Quick slant caught by Kirk. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Inside handoff to Mixon. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Back to Mixon on first down. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized.
Now we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. In motion right, that's Collins. Here's a fake on the jet sweep and a run up the middle with Mixon.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
He'll drop this one down to Mixon.
And he is stopped just short on 3rd down. Got 9 yards, but needed 10.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
So they'll say no to the 50-yard field goal try. Instead, the offense out there, they're going for it. They'll run with Mixon. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. Denied on 4th down is Joe Mixon.
And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs.
So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
Robinson up the middle.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. A gain of 18 and a new set of downs.
As we both know, there was a lot that went into why they made him their first-round pick this year, and part of it was what they saw in college, his playmaking ability when things break down. As soon as he saw he wasn't getting a lane to throw, he pivoted and found an alternate way to the marker.
They'll run this one right with Robinson. 49 yards rushing for him now to this point.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a 2nd down and 4.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
This one caught by Osborne, right side.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington.
K.J. Osborne.
28 yards.
And the Commanders have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Had 3 touchdown passes. You're right. He looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good.
Gonzalez now to add the extra point. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And the result, a touchdown for Washington. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Houston set to take over.
And last time we saw them go for it in kind of an unusual situation. It's not like it's a fourth quarter do or die. They went for it, didn't get it. We'll see how that affects them this go around.
Partner, I'm wondering if we're starting to see the effects of analytics coming into play here, where people are studying the number of possessions, how many times you should go for it, what position it leaves your team in. Maybe we're starting to see a little bit of that creeping into the NFL.
Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose, and that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
Stroud looking to throw.
Steps away to his left. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only first down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
Throw right side is going to be caught by Kirk. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Houston. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the 4th quarter.
Here's Stroud. Oh, what a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. So they'll, of course, decline the pass interference there and wisely take the yardage.
And I think defensively he's saying, I was getting away with that in the first half. Why are you making that call now? But to me, that one was pretty easy to see. I don't understand what he's upset about. I think it was the correct call.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud.
And completes it to Kirk over the middle. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Good yardage on the completion there. And when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Man in motion left. That's Collins.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12.
On the bootleg, Stroud.
Escapes this, but in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down.
Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays.
A shotgun snap to Stroud.
He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Stroud.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Schultz. Touchdown! Dalton Schultz, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game.
And the Texans have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. And, Charles, they continue to have trouble stopping him as he's into the end zone yet again.
Yeah, that's multiple series now that have ended with him in the end zone. A perfect plan on how to utilize him best when they get in close.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. He's got it, and they're back within a touchdown at 28-21. A 10-play drive that time.
And it was the tight end Dalton Schultz on the touchdown reception to cap the drive.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. This offense headed back out, captained, of course, by their quarterback. And you get a look at the numbers, they don't even tell the whole story. This has been a tremendous performance to this point. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Throwing now is Daniels.
Open man is Noah Brown. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. First target, first catch, and a first down.
Well, every now and then I can speak from experience, because I do know as a defender, it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes, because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
Play action, now it's Daniels.
That's Samuel, caught left side. And he's got this down to the 35. Another strong gain on the last two plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 35-yard line.
Now Daniels.
This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. Only able to gain a couple there, and that'll make it 2nd down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. And he's going to take this one down to the 25. He's able to call his own number for 8 that time, but it leaves him with a 3rd down.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing: get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass him with a running play.
And they'll get this down to the 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a entire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Commanders football as we get back to it.
They've got it 1st and goal as they search for what could be a game-sealing touchdown.
Going for the knockout punch. They'll try and run.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10.
Again, it'll be Robinson.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
To throw is Daniels.
And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. The Texans going to signal for their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A big one coming now for the kicker, Zane Gonzalez. This to perhaps salt this one away. Gonzalez's kick is good. So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. So Stroud and the Texans
Down by 10, a minute 40 remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down.
Stroud to throw it. Finding Schultz.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Short play like that in this situation this late, that's a win for the defense.
No doubt. And I remember something Coach Madden used to talk about all the time. Sometimes you can't just take what the defense gives you. You have to take what you need. And in this case, the offense is taking what the defense is giving them, not what they need.
Stroud. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
Well, this defense has been physical all game long, and it certainly looks like they're not going to back off and make things any easier. They want to keep making life miserable for the receivers all the way to the end.
Now Stroud.
And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
Where will the pressure come from? 4th and 6 now. Here's Stroud. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That was one they needed to connect on. They're down, but not quite out. So you have to figure, with under 2 minutes to play, they need to hit on something in very short order.
But just over a minute to go in the football game. 2nd and 10. Here's Stroud.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Give him credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Late game situation, things seem to be unraveling just a little bit, and that's when you start forcing the football, mainly out of necessity. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete, nearly picked off.
The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's 4th down. To throw with Stroud.
And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. They had to go for it with such little time remaining.
And Washington will take control of the football in great field position.
So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Washington about to close this one out as they are down to a knee.
So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational.
So it's the Commanders who come away with a win, and it was their quarterback who led the way, Charles. Pretty impressive play for a rookie.
Yeah, he was in complete control of this offense. He had 3 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And to be honest, he really made it look easy out there.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. So long from Houston.